back to the Girls Who Get It podcast. I'm Julia.
I'm Sam.
Today we are doing Am I the Asshole posts from Reddit. We're going to read some, we're going to react. And we did this last season.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was reading through comments on YouTube, as I do, someone said we should make it like a segment on the pod. And we loved it last time, so
I know, I think they're so fun. And whenever I hear them, even like in other people's podcasts, they're just entertaining.
they're so entertaining and there's so many. It's like how I'm trying to think of my own life. Like, what could I contribute to this?
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe we should do that next time. Like we should include our own.
Our own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I could come up with something. I always think I'm like being an asshole.
So if you don't know what this is, it's a thread on Reddit where people just leave different scenarios and they are asking, am I the asshole in this situation or is it the other person? Before we start though, do you have any updates, anything to share since last week?
Well, I want to give a shout out to my domestic partner because I was talking to him today and he asked to be spoken about. So I thought I'd share. I was using Bumble. I'm gonna start from the beginning.
I'm sorry, wait, what?
Just wait. So I hate Bumble, and I only get it if I'm feeling really bored. Like, I think it's one of the worst apps. If you like it, I'm sorry. I actually met my ex on Bumble, but that's
Wait,
besides.
side note, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do we have the same colored nails right now?
No way. Wow, look at us.
Amazing.
Almost yours are longer, but same shape and everything.
I know. I love that for us. Okay, sorry, continue.
So I'm on Bumble and I matched with this guy, and I've been using this opening line. Or I saw it on TikTok. I can't credit anyone because I forget who it was, but she was like, "Oh, I use this line and it's okay, fine, I'll be your girlfriend," or like whatever you want to say. So I said that, and he was
That's
like,
funny. I like that.
he was really, his response is really funny. He's like, "Oh, good, because I wasn't gonna ask again," or something like that. And he was just really funny. So we're going back and forth, and he was like, "So when is this Facebook official?" And I was like, "Oh, now, like how's now?" Like joking. And he was like, "Okay, I bet. What's your Facebook?" So I was like, he's not gonna do it. But he did. He added me, and then he sent me, like, it's a request, I guess, to be in a relationship with someone. So then I get the request, and instead of like, "Oh, in a relationship with," he picked that I was his domestic partner. So now I call him my domestic partner, and he doesn't live around here. He's a truck driver that was like passing through. So we have kind of like a weird, I wouldn't know what to call it, but he's really funny and like my domestic partner. So
Interesting. Wait, so when did this happen?
like a few weeks ago. I guess I just didn't think to mention it. Actually, last week I thought he was like done with me, so that's why.
Oh, but you haven't met him in person.
I met him twice.
Oh.
Like, I guess I should
Oh.
put that in my like update. But it's really like fun. I don't know. We talk on the phone. We've
Where's
met
he
twice.
from?
He's from Kentucky
Oh,
and
okay.
it's Maine, so he drives like through Albany a lot, which is how we encountered each other.
Interesting. Okay. Is he
Yeah.
cute?
Yeah, he's sturdy. He's cute. He's got like a beard. He's a little ginger.
Okay.
I have no expectations. He's real silly, so I like to keep him around.
Yeah, it sounds like he has a good personality and like good sense of like similar sense of humor to you. So that's
He
nice at least to have someone that you can just have like banter. And I know like as a truck driver, I'm sure he's probably like very bored all the time and lonely.
He
So
must be. Like, he must be. I couldn't imagine. And he'll drive like Kentucky to Maine is freaking long. So
yeah.
mm, yeah. But there's that, I guess. Update is that I spoke to him today after he blew me off last week. So
Mm,
it's not over, I guess. He's still my friend. He's still my domestic partner.
gotcha. Okay.
What about you? Any update?
No, I don't think so. I feel like my life is so boring lately.
Um,
I'm trying to think what even happened since last week. I don't think anything, just work. I did have a bad day at work on Saturday, and it was like one of those days that made me question why the fuck am I doing hair again?
Not bad.
It was like one of those days that led me to like take a break from it in the first place. But I vlogged that day if you want to watch my YouTube channel, and I'll post that video in a couple days so you can get all the details. Do you want to go first? Do you have
I've got one pulled up.
a go? Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for the babysitter's laptop? I, single mom of two, hired a babysitter after I started working a new job. My kids are 8 and 6. The babysitter is 17. She brings her laptop with her to study, which is perfectly okay with me, as long as she keeps an eye on the kids. Yesterday, I came home and the babysitter showed me her laptop that got broken by my youngest. I was shocked. I asked how this happened, and she said that she left the laptop in the living room and went to make the kids lunch, but my youngest grabbed it and ran with it till he dropped it and broke the screen. I said that was horrible and apologized to her, but stated it was her fault for leaving the laptop within reach of children. She said she thought my kids were old enough to know not to touch others' stuff. I explained how they might have thought it belonged to us since it was in our house. Okay. She asked if I could pay for it to get fixed, but I refused and insisted it was her problem, not mine. She ranted about having exams soon and not having enough money to get it fixed. We argued, and I had to tell her to go home after she persisted. Later on, I got a call from her dad basically blaming the whole thing on me and demanding I pay to get the laptop fixed, but I still refused. Now she's refusing to come again unless I pay her for the laptop repair, even though I paid her in advance to watch the kids. What do we think?
Well, first of all, I'm very impressed that because I'm just like imagining me as a 17-year-old.
17, like she's a kid too.
Yeah, like for her to stand up for herself and like be like, you're gonna pay for, like, I don't know. I think that I would have been so passive at that age that I would have just been like, I don't
Me,
even know if I would have said anything. I would have just been like, no worries.
I know, me too. I'd be like, oh shoot, especially if she was like telling me no, like go home. If an adult was telling me that, I'd be like, forget it. It's
Oh
okay.
my God. Yeah, for
It's great.
real.
But is she the asshole? What do you think?
Um, I don't know. It's like, okay, I on one hand, I get the whole like, why would you just leave your laptop like out in the open with the kids right there? Like you should know better.
This reminded me of two things. First, when I worked at Cold Stone, we had like an aux cord in the back that the stereo, like you could put your phone on the stereo and play whatever you wanted, which of course I did. And I had my phone setting on it was a filing cabinet, and my manager had been opening it, and the wire got stuck and my phone fell and the screen shattered, like completely.
Oof.
I was like, oh shoot. And initially, I wasn't like, oh my God, you better pay for that. But she offered to pay half because it was her fault. But like, it, and I feel like that was fair. Like, to offer to split. If I were the mom, I probably would have at least been like, well, can I give you something towards it or something?
That's what my initial thought was too. Like maybe just do like pay half.
Right. Like, come to an agreement rather than just be like, no, it's your problem. Because it's not like completely her problem. Like, your kid took it and ran with it. which if I had a 6-year-old that was, I had my laptop out or something, I'd probably try to relay like, hey, can we handle this with care? It's easier for me to say that, not having kids, but I feel like just saying it was her problem is kind of like, she's kind of an asshole. It also reminded me of Sex and the City where
The
Carrie wears
shoes.
shoes or whatever, probably Manolos to this party. And they're like, hey, take your shoes off. So she does, and they get stolen. And then she wants the party host to like pay her for the shoes. And they go back and forth, but eventually she gets her a new pair of shoes. Because it's like,
Right.
you're kind of responsible. Like, it was your other guest that stole a shoe. So it's like your kid broke her computer at your house. So you're like a little responsible, if not completely. Like if
Yeah,
your
I
her
completely
computer can
agree.
be broken. Most of the responses are parents. And they say she's the asshole.
Oh,
So
interesting.
this one says you're the asshole. They on Reddit it's YTA, not just like you're an asshole. It's like you're the asshole. A 6 and 8-year-old are absolutely old enough to know not to touch or run around with other people's electronics. Signed, a mother of a 6-year-old.
That's a great point too. I honestly didn't really pay attention to the ages of them.
Right,
In my mind, I'm picturing like toddlers. But
yeah,
yeah, that they're in school. Like they should know,
not to exactly.
yeah, what the fuck.
Especially like a lot of kids have tablets. Like if my kid's running around with a tablet, I'm not trying to replace that thing. Like you better know how to handle that.
Right, like in a world now where like everyone has the technologies everywhere. Like it's not like this is they don't know the difference between a laptop and like a plastic toy. Like, come
Right.
on.
I'm sure they've held the mom's phone or something like they're aware. Uh,
Yeah.
and then this person said, you're the asshole. You pay for what your kids destroy. That's part of being a parent.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're at the store and they break something, you buy it.
Right. Very true. That's a great point. I think I'm always like, I don't know. I tread lightly when it's like stuff that has to do with kids
Yeah,
because I'm like, I don't have that other perspective as a parent. But
yeah.
yeah, I agree with those responses.
I mean, shit happens when there's kids around, like, and it can happen like fast, but
Well, speaking of kids, I have one that also kind of involves a parent and child. Am I the asshole for leaving a toy in my shower?
oh.
Toy in quotations if you're not watching the video. By the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. Best friend and I are both female 30s. Her daughter is 3. I think this is the stupidest argument we've ever had, but she's still so mad I thought I'd appeal to the masses. I was out of town for 5 days over the 4th of July and paid her to feed my 2 cats while I was gone. I've done this for her family and their dog in the past too. She was being really terse and short with me after I got back, and I kept asking if something was wrong, but she wouldn't admit to it. Until we met in person a couple days later so I could get my keys back, and then she exploded. There's no way to sugarcoat this, so I'll just say it. I left an adult toy in the shower. I'm a single lady, I live by myself, and it doesn't even look like that. It's one of those stylized ones that if you're an adult, you'll definitely know what it is, but let's say you're a 3-year-old, you'll have no idea. It's also bright purple if that makes a difference. So, yeah, her kid was messing around in the bathroom, pulled back the shower curtain, and saw it. Being in the question phase of life, she asked her mom, "What's that?" My friend told her it's a toy and left it at that. But apparently, she was shocked and mortified that her daughter had been exposed to such a thing at such a young age. I thought she was overreacting, but I still apologized and figured that was it. Nope. She's still mad because I guess her daughter will still get in the tub and point out how she has bath toys and Auntie OK underscore pie. That's her username. How her auntie also has bath toys. I think it's funny because it's one of those things that means nothing to a kid, but those to an adult, and she's going to find something else to fixate on in a week or two. but they are going on a vacation with a bunch of her in-laws soon, and she is terrified that her kid is going to say this while on vacation and she'll have to explain it to her in-laws. I told her she doesn't have to explain anything. She can just make something up, like, oh, I gave her some bath toys or something. This is not the big deal she's making it out to be. Now she says I'm being insensitive to her feelings. We've been friends since we were like 9 years old, and I maintain this is the stupidest argument we've ever had, but maybe I'm wrong.
She's asking if she's the asshole.
I think she kind of knows that she's not the asshole. She keeps saying she thinks it's so ridiculous, but I think she's probably just trying to get like strangers' input just to get like that validation,
Yeah, because she's not.
just to make sure like is there something I'm missing here?
No. First of all, it's her house. It's not like she left it in her friend's house. Like
Very true. Like who told you to bring your daughter over
in the bathroom and open my shower.
and be looking around?
Yeah. So no, that's dumb. But then also, like, kind of with the last one, with the laptop and everything, like when you have kids, I feel like that's like it's not up to the rest of the world to make sure your kids never see like an adult toy. Like
Right.
you have kids and you know these things are out in the world, and when you encounter something, that's up to you to deal with. If that were me personally and my toddler saw like a toy in your shower,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I think it'd be funny, probably.
Same.
Like the poster said, like she's gonna forget about it in a week. It's not a big deal at all.
Very true.
I think it would be funny.
Right, because like to the kid, it's really not a big deal at all. Like she just has no idea
Right.
and is thinking nothing of it.
You could have said it was anything. You could have been like, "Oh, that's a hook for a washcloth or something." Like, I don't know, but like you said toy as her mom, and that's your kid, so I don't see how you could blame the friend that left her toy in her own shower.
Right. It's so ridiculous. Here's a comment that someone left. You've already listed the reasons why your friend is making a huge fuss about nothing, but I'll give you another one that you can pass on to your friend if you're so inclined. You paid her to feed your cats. I presume that means dropping in once or twice a day, cleaning the cats' food bowls, putting down fresh food, changing their water and litter tray, and then leaving again. Is that right? Your friend wasn't spending the whole day there or sleeping there. If so, you weren't paying her to have her daughter mess around in the bathroom, whatever that means. You weren't paying her to have her daughter pull back the shower curtain and see what you may have left there. If she brings her daughter along because she has no one to leave her daughter with, or because the daughter wants to play with the cats for a while, it is incumbent on your friend to supervise the child. The only reason her daughter should have been in the bathroom at all would be to use the toilet and then wash her hands under her mother's supervision. She is 3. She understands don't touch. If the child was allowed into rooms unsupervised to mess around and do whatever the hell she wanted, you have a right to be annoyed. So if your friend keeps flinging this very trivial incident in your face, ask her why her daughter was messing around in your bathroom in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
Our next one is, am I the asshole for upgrading my house's thermostat so I could password protect it from my wife? My wife, 26 female, and I, 28 male, have been married for about a year. Oh, wait, about half a year now. We lived together in an apartment before getting married, and now we live in a house I inherited from my grandmother. This summer has been quite hot, and so, like most people, we have been running our air conditioner nearly around the clock. My wife and I have very different ideas of how we should run it, though. Using energy saver recommendations, I like to keep it at around 76 degrees and on low. My wife likes to turn it down to 60 degrees and blast it on the highest setting, then turn it off when she gets cold, then turn it back on again when she gets hot. Oh my God.
Those are two very different temperatures.
Yeah, wow. Okay. I've tried discussing this with her, but there's literally nothing I can do or say to convince her. She currently stays at home taking care of the house while I go to work, and the second I'm out the door, the thermostat is messed with. I've tried showing her our exorbitantly expensive power bill from May all months, so it was only going to go up, but she doesn't care. She says that she's at home all day and so she should have control over it. We've argued about this on and off since. About 3 weeks ago, I got a reservation for a new digital thermostat installation. The guys finally came a few days ago and installed the new thermostat of off our old air conditioning unit. The first thing I did was password protect it, so you would need a PIN to change any of the settings. My wife came home a few hours after I had set the PIN and noticed the new unit. When she tried to change the settings, she was met with a request for a PIN and asked me what it was. I told her that I wouldn't be telling her that. Then she asked what she should do if she gets hot. I responded that she could still turn the air conditioning on and off without the PIN. The next morning, I left for work as normal, setting it to 76. When I got home in the afternoon, I found my wife on the living room floor pantomiming a fainting spell. She mustered the energy to say, "Help, water." I ignored her because you faint from heat in a climate-controlled room. When she realized I wouldn't give her attention, she exploded in anger and yelled that she could have died, prompting another argument. She ended it with calling me controlling and hasn't said more than a word to me since. Things have been rough for the past couple of days. I feel like what I did was completely justified, but was I an asshole about this?
I think his wife needs to get a job.
That's a great point.
If she's so hot in the house, she could go work in a nice cold store.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. But besides that, I think they're both assholes.
They're both assholes, totally. Here's the thing. She stays home. He didn't say anything about kids. So, like, she's just staying home, not working, doing whatever, while he's the one working and paying their bills.
Right. He's paying
And
this high
part
electricity.
of me is like, okay, well, you inherited this house from your grandmother, must be nice. Um, but even still, like, if you are not contributing to, like, you're over here racking up this crazy electric bill that you aren't contributing to. Like,
Right.
that's fucked up. Like, you're an asshole for that. But I also understand the point of, like, well, she's the one who's home, so she should be able to adjust the temperature to what feels comfortable. I feel like there should be some kind of compromise here, like, especially 60 to 76. Like,
How
it's a
could
big
there
gap
not be a compromise? 60 degrees,
for
that's
real.
16 degrees. Like, you guys can't set it at like 70, even 72 would be better. Like,
Right.
if she would keep it if you could keep it at a consistent like 72 degrees, you wouldn't have to turn it off and on. So she's dumb.
Or
Off and on.
honestly, like, just maybe, and I mean, maybe this is like really extra, but like, get a window unit for whatever room you're sitting in. Just get a window unit for one room. Because, like, to keep a whole house at 60 degrees, that's a lot.
Right.
But to
That's
just keep one room with the door shut isn't as bad. So, I
there
mean,
had like
she could do that maybe if it's like she needs to be in a freezing cold room. But, like, I'm really curious to know more about their dynamic and, like, what is she doing all day?
right. That I would like to know that as well. But at the end of the day, 76 degrees is way too fucking hot and I would die and I'd be probably really pissed. 60 degrees is way cold and like unnecessary. And how
Yeah,
like meet in the middle.
you can
Instead,
definitely meet in the middle.
if I got locked out of my own thermostat, which does she work? We don't know. You live together, you're married. Uh, no, that wouldn't fly for me. You're not going to lock me out of my thermostat. Like, you married me. That's your problem.
Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, like, why is he not willing to compromise with her at all? Like, he definitely sounds like an asshole. Like, I do not like this guy at all whatsoever. But, like, she just also sounds annoying. So, like, I just hate both of them.
Both of
But
them, that was the consensus. Like, everybody on Reddit's like, you're both fucking children about this. Like, grow up.
Literally awful. But I mean, and listen, you know that I love the heat and I like to keep my
Yeah.
place comfortable.
What's
I
your
don't like
thermostat?
it to be too cold. But I was gonna say, I keep mine between 72 and 74.
I would have guessed that.
So even to me, 76 is
56 is
that's
brutal.
that's warm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
keep mine at 70, give or take a degree. Just dumb. What a dumb, like, situation.
Yeah, for real. Okay, my next one. I didn't actually read this one all the way through.
Hmm.
I just kind of skimmed it. So let's see. Am I the asshole for telling someone that his achievement, in quotes, just meant that he had rich parents?
Hmm.
And this intrigued me because I feel like I could relate to this.
Oh, God.
I, 23 male, have been with my current company for a year now. Recently, a new guy, Jack, joined our team fresh out of college. Last Friday, my manager invited everyone to a bar after work. There, Jack told everyone about an achievement that he obtained over spring break. He visited his 150th country. In
Wow.
contrast to everyone else who were asking things such as, what was the best slash worst slash strangest thing you ate? Which countries were your favorite? Any cool stories? I just said, good for you, and went back to my drink. Jack noticed me being quiet and asked me why I wasn't joining in. I said, don't worry about me. But Jack kept pressing the issue. I finally said, Jack, visiting 150 countries is cool and all, but it doesn't say anything about you as a person. It just means you had rich parents who could afford to travel internationally several times a year. I grew up poor, literally, worked my ass off in high school, got a full ride merit scholarship, and did everything humanly possible to land my current six-figure job. Rich people who think they're better than everyone else just because they had rich parents is a huge pet peeve of mine. But my coworkers don't know any of that since I like to keep work and my personal life as separated as possible. Jack got really quiet after that and left soon afterwards. Now it's Monday morning and I'm wondering if I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Huh. He kind of sounds like one of those people when they were like, I don't know if they did this or not, but the government was gonna like excuse
Student
like the
loans.
forgiveness. He sounds like one of the people that's like, I paid mine, so you should pay yours. Like that's the vibe he's giving.
Yeah.
Does it help to have money to travel? Yeah, like definitely. But I feel like in that scenario, I'd be more interested in knowing like what he did, not thinking about how he did it.
Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't really necessarily sound, I don't know. Well, like this person commented, visiting 150 countries is really cool. There was no need to shit all over it and make a stink. He never said he was better than anyone else. You just assumed that because of your own insecurities.
Yeah, that's fair. I would agree with that. Cause like you can have rich parents and still not care to travel and like experience the world. Like have no interest in it, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's very true. But I don't know. I thought that it was like kind of relatable because like moving down here, and I think especially since I started working at the salon where I'm at, and I love everyone that I work with. Don't get me wrong, I really genuinely do.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just met, like, even just like through clients and stuff like that, like I feel like I've met a lot of people lately that grew up really wealthy and have just like lived a very cushy life. And it's like, I don't know, just the way that they act and the things that they talk about and things that they do. I'm like, it's so obvious that like they're just fucking clueless to, like people
Yeah.
who have to work hard or who have ever like struggled for things because they just grew up like owning a boat and having a big pool and living right by the beach. They
Yeah.
go to the country club and like bullshit like that. And I'm just like, Oh my God, we just grew up so fucking differently.
Yeah. I think a lot of people with that grew up with money or never had to worry about anything can be kind of out of touch.
Oh, yes, that is the perfect word for it.
You could say that about a lot of things, like, I don't know. I definitely understand where you're coming from, and I definitely agree, but like there's a lot of things I haven't experienced, like good or bad, where it's like I don't really know what like it's like to go through your parents getting divorced or something like that. So it's like I could
That's
be
true.
how that, you know what I mean? But I like
Yeah. No,
completely,
that's very true. Like we all are privileged, I guess, in different ways. Totally. And I'm not trying to say that like, oh my God, I had such a hard life. Like I
no,
definitely did not. But I'm just saying it's like it's just interesting when you are in the same environment as someone,
yeah.
then you just realize like how differently you grew up and I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like, oh, because like I can understand kind of like that the eye roll,
Yeah. Where you're
you
like, oh,
know?
you can only do that because you were so, yeah, I get it.
Right. But I think like you didn't need to like this guy sounds like an asshole.
He does a little bit. Like I get where he's coming from. I understand being like, well, must be nice, but like
Right.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of moments that like this is just life, I guess, and it's going to continue to happen, but I go through things and I'm like, "Oh, I might have been like ignorant about that before because I didn't experience it before," or like people just aren't exposed to certain things and so they don't understand like that they're so privileged or they're, I mean, I feel like it's kind of easy to see you're privileged if you travel to 150 countries like without an issue, but some
Right.
okay. Am I the asshole for getting a tattoo my husband hates? So I have a few tattoos on my sides, thigh, and ankle. My husband doesn't like the tattoos, but he accepts it's my body and doesn't hold strong objections to them. In the past, I haven't consulted him on a new tattoo. I've just gone and got them, and he's said, "Oh, another one. Okay." A few months ago, I said I wanted to get a Medusa tattoo as I adore her, and my husband said, "Please, no. He hates snakes and has a phobia of them." Well, I couldn't get the idea out of my mind, and then an opening came up with an amazing artist, so I booked it and got one on my thigh. It isn't huge, about the size of my palm, and not too graphic. More of an outline than realistic snakes. My husband says I was an asshole for getting something he really hates, since he's the only other person who will see it. I kind of feel bad, but it's my body, right? It's not like I have a real snake. Am I the asshole?
First of all, it's on her thigh and he's the only other person that's gonna see it.
Like where on the thigh? Like upper maybe?
Right. Is this like a are they Muslim? Like
No,
no one's gonna see your thighs ever? Like
like
you don't go to the
really-
beach?
right. I mean, depends, I
But
guess.
also, I don't the husband kind of sounds like a pussy to me. I don't like snakes. Why would you get a snake tattoo? Like
No. Oh
what?
no.
I also feel like yes, it's her body and she should just do whatever the fuck she wants.
Right.
Like get whatever tattoo you want and he shouldn't care. It's weird that he would even, if you ask his opinion, fine, whatever, but like for him to be like, I don't want you to do that.
Yeah. I would like
Yeah.
to know his reaction, like, did she say? She didn't really say like what he said besides that he hates it since
But
the
it
only other
also kind of sounded the way I interpreted it anyway. It kind of almost sounded like she was talking about wanting to get this tattoo. He was like, "No, I hate snakes." And then it almost was like she kind of it made her want to get it even more because he said that. So it's like that what's your dynamic there?
I don't know, it's kind I think if it's like a true phobia, and I don't really understand phobias, like there's at least I don't think so. Like I don't know what kind of reaction like a tattoo of a snake would get. Like I don't
Yeah,
really.
I mean, maybe I'm being like too insensitive, but I'm just like, especially she said it's not super realistic.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a snake, maybe. Okay, but it's like, it's also a tattoo, and it's not gonna do anything to you. Like, I don't really know why it would matter so much, but also, like you
Right.
said, it seems like she was like, well, I'm gonna get it, knowing full well. I don't know. That one's kind of weird. That's like, I wouldn't say she's an asshole. Maybe a little I don't know, a little insensitive. But even that, like, it's her thigh and it's her I don't know.
I can't even imagine. I'm trying to like put myself in that position and then like flip roles and be like, what if I was with a guy that wanted to get a tattoo that I thought, like, what if I was with a guy and he wanted to get like a spider web elbow tattoo or like a only God can judge me, like something really corny. No
Right.
offense if you have those tattoos, but and I
Yeah.
was like, oh God, please don't. And he just did it anyway.
I honestly, I might question things. I might be like, you're not who I
True, like why was I into you? Like if you like that, we have very different tastes.
it would make me question things a little bit. And honestly, if I said, "Oh, I really hate," like I'm trying to think of things that I really hate to like give me a better. I really hate stink bugs. And he went and got a tattoo of a stink bug. That would probably bother me.
Because it's like personal, right? It's like, oh, you hate that? All right, let me put it
Feels-
permanently on my body.
Yeah, that feels kind of personal.
That way,
I would
when you're
actually
going, when like right on her thigh too, it's like, yeah, while you're down there, the snake will be right
look,
by your face.
if I think of like a stink bug, yeah, that would piss me off, I have to say.
Okay, here's another one. Again, I didn't read this in full, so I don't know if it is stupid. Am I the asshole for doing chores the way my husband suggested, resulting in his stuff being ruined? I'll keep this short. I work from home and make less than my husband, so I do more chores in general. I'm fine with this, but he never seems happy when I'm done with the chores. The pillows are not fluffed enough on the couch, or the mopping is done wrong.
Hmm.
The worst is that he will tell me to do the chores wrong, use boiling water when mopping. We have fake floors, it will damage them. Use the wire sponge on no-stick pans, and so on. It drives me crazy, so he made the comment again about doing it his way and it will be cleaner. So today I did that. Took his favorite pan and used the wire sponge to clean it. I recorded it, and yes, it scratched the thing up. When he got home, he flipped and we got in a huge argument, but my point was I was just doing it as he told me to. He called me a jerk, and I am doubting myself since I did mess up a good pan.
She's not the asshole.
Yeah, this person said, it's a hella toxic relationship you're in.
That sounds freaking toxic. Like, if he wants it done so bad, I probably would have let him try it for himself. Be like, fine, can you show me? Show me how much you know about this. And then let him ruin it himself. What would he say then? Oh,
Right. This person said, yeah, they need to split. I started squinting at the he makes more money, so I do more chores just to make sure I read it right. Really bad dynamics going on here. Yeah, that's interesting too. I could understand if it was like I work part-time and they work full-time and they get home really late. So what like but the if you're both working the same amount and they just happen to make more than you, like I don't think that should justify necessarily like, oh, well, you should have to do more chores then.
I agree. This is a little bit triggering for me because I'm really annoyed. Like, recently, I don't know why men, not all men, but like I've been dealing with some men, they think they just know fucking better. And I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or it's because like that to me is what it has to be because I have more work experience, I like whatever. But it's like if you think you know better, go ahead and do it your way. And when they
Right.
do it their way, they're fucking wrong. So I'm sick of hearing this kind of shit. If you want to prove you're right, go and do it wrong and come back to me because why are you so sure you're right? If you want to clean the floor and ruin it, do it then. I would, if I were her, I would have let him do it. Show me how you want it done then yourself and let him
Right.
his own favorite pan. Like, what?
Right.
That, like, Why? Because you're a man and if it's not just like blatant misogyny, it's internalized. Like, fucking grow up.
It's just interesting because I wonder, she said that they're married. Like, were they not living together before they got married? Like, was he always like this? Was this always an issue? Or is this just a more recent thing? Because, like, if this is how it's been, why the fuck did you marry him in the first place? Like, that sounds awful.
Well, yeah, like I something I have like a love-hate relationship with how I've been single for like my adult life, but I know so much more of like what I want.
Yeah,
Like something like that, I'd be like, do you not know how to have you not lived on your own and done your own chores? Like, just because I'm here now doesn't mean you're not going to cook for yourself and you're not going to clean for yourself. Like, that's not going to fly ever. I'm not picking up after somebody else after I've lived and picked up after my own self. Like, no. 50-50 split.
right.
That one annoyed me.
I agree. He sounds like a dick. He sounds very controlling, and I'm sure that that's probably not the only like aspect in life where he acts this way, you
Oh,
know? But on the flip side, not at like he's an asshole, period, the end. But I will say, it does make me think of like when I was living with my ex,
mhm.
we would split the chores, the cleaning in the house, and but he would like not do a good job. Like he would not clean thoroughly.
Right.
Because I feel like, okay, if you're gonna like sit there and try to micromanage and criticize the way I do things, then you can just do it your damn self.
Yeah.
But also, like, because I remember I'd be like, okay, I'll clean downstairs, you do upstairs. And he would vacuum, quote unquote, but he would like literally just do the center of the room. Like he wouldn't move anything. He wouldn't get like in the corners and like under anything. He would take 2 seconds really quick and I'd be like, hello, like there's still a freaking fur ball floating by over there in the corner. Like,
Point if you're not going to do it.
right, if you're not gonna do it correctly and thoroughly, like that's not it's not fair and it's not helpful to me. Like then I feel like I'm still doing everything by myself anyway.
What do they call that? Like, this is TikTok talking. It's like weaponized incompetence.
Yeah, and I am very well versed on this because this is what I did my whole life growing up. Whenever my mom would ask me to do something, I
Like,
would
oh,
purposely do it wrong so that she would get annoyed and be like, just never mind, just forget it. I'll just do it.
that's what that is. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he seems like a fucking know-it-all, and I'm really triggered by know-it-all men because if you know so much better than me, a woman, just a woman, then you do it.
Especially because what he's saying is wrong anyway. So it's like,
Yeah, like
shut the fuck
you
up.
don't know what you're talking about. Anyway,
Moving on.
moving right along. Our next one, this one's a little bit long, but the topic intrigues me.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend that spending $10,000 on a wedding dress is wasteful given her financial circumstances? This happened over the weekend and she still isn't talking to me, so here we go. Oh boy. My friend, 24 female, is getting married next year and is spending what I think is a ridiculous amount on a wedding dress. She doesn't have a high-paying job. She's a public school teacher and lives on a tight budget. Her fiance makes more money, he's in tech, but she told me they're splitting the cost of the wedding. One third her parents, one third his parents, and one third them as a couple. So it's not like his salary is covering this dress. We are out to brunch with a group of friends when her wedding came up, and she got out her phone to show us her wedding dress that she recently committed to. I was expecting something normal, a, a photo of her in a dress in a bridal shop, but it was just a sketch. Then she dropped the bomb that she's working with a designer to make a brand new dress from scratch. This shocked me because she has never mentioned this before, and I asked some follow-up questions about who the designer is, where she's getting this done, and how much it would cost. And that's when she dropped the $10,000 amount. I told her that was way too much to spend on a dress, and she got super defensive. She's just trying She's trying to justify it as her chance to try out fashion design because she's the one that sketched this thing and is apparently her dream dress from a design perspective that couldn't be purchased anywhere else. Here's why Here's where I might be the asshole because I didn't let it go. I told her that if she can't sew it herself, she can't call it her dress because the actual designer is going to be the one doing all the work. And it's wasteful to spend that much money on a vanity project. She took this poorly and shut down for the rest of the outing. And one of our other friends texted me after and told me I was being an asshole for telling her what she could and couldn't afford to do. The friend also told me that apparently they got their venue for free because it's owned by her fiance's family, and that the $10,000 for the dress was originally earmarked for the venue, and that's what they're spending it on. But I still think it's just way too much money to spend on a dress, because the venue would be for everyone, but the dress is only for her. I probably shouldn't have confronted her about the cost in public, and I'm willing to apologize for that, but come on, this is way too much money for a public school teacher to spend on a dress, right?
I completely agree with her because I've always had this position where I I love going to weddings as a guest, don't get me wrong. But like personally, I've never had any interest in having a wedding and doing like a big fancy extravagant thing. It sickens me to know how much money people spend on weddings. I think personally, it's not worth it. To me, it's a huge waste of money.
Mhm.
And it's like silly. It's for one day that like I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. And
Right.
$10,000, I think $10,000 in total to spend on the whole entire wedding is ridiculous, let alone just on the dress alone. Like, I can not fathom that. I think that is so stupid. And I 100% agree with the poster's like perspective.
Yeah.
And I also understand, like, I also, with my close friends, I have one
Mhm.
friend in particular that, like, is always bitching about her finances and not having money to do stuff, but then will, like, repeatedly be going out to dinner, like, practically every night, always getting a drink with her dinner, like, just spending money on, like, dumb things. And it's like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see your good friends, like, not be responsible with their money, especially then if they're going to be complaining about it later on to you.
Right.
So I get it. But I also think it's like, okay, back like, if it's my personality that like I probably would have like if it's a close friend, I probably would have said something like, "Are you fucking great? You're nuts."
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have like kept going with it cuz like
She kept going.
yeah, like at the end of the day, feel how you feel, but like it's not your wedding, it's not your money,
Yeah.
and it's not your business. So like
Yeah.
shut up, you
I would
know?
say she's the asshole. And I found myself being like, oh, I'd never have a wedding. I mean, easy for me to say. I have no man, but like for me personally, I would rather take any money I'd spend on a wedding and put it towards the house or like take a trip or do something.
Same.
That's what I would prefer to do for myself. That doesn't mean anyone else wouldn't want to spend 10 like the dress is she's dreamt of it since she was a little girl and whatever. And I have like Pinterest boards of weddings, but like the more I don't know, live and like learn myself, the more I'm like, I don't want to have something like a big wedding or anything. But it's like you can't just say, "Oh, that's so ridiculous. Oh, you didn't design it. Oh, can't afford this." That's none of your business. I mean,
Right.
I'd probably be like, "Whoa, that's a lot." Knowing myself, I'd probably say something like without really thinking. I think we discussed this last week and I'd be like, "Holy."
Yeah.
But
Same.
who cares? I mean, it's not my money she's spending. Like have your day, have it be the best day you possibly can make it and like be excited to go there. Like, I don't know why she would take it so far. Like,
Right. Like it's really not her place. Like just shut up.
why did it bother her so much? Like, but
And then to like post on Reddit and be like,
am
am
I
I am I the asshole? Like I just
and she
don't
acts like
like
admitting that like maybe she took it too far. Like, no, you're still an asshole. Like, you still like
right. Right. And it's not like you're making this comment because you're looking out for your friend. Your friend is more aware of her financial situation and how much they're spending on this wedding and all of that. Like it sounds like she wasn't aware, like the poster didn't know until the other friend texted her and told her about like the venue thing. So it's like you don't know. Like just shut up. Don't worry about it.
just be happy for your friend. Let her.
Right.
Of course, the
Exactly.
day's ruined for her. Like, yeah, because you just tore her down like completely about something she was obviously excited about. So,
Right. She might end up getting her ass uninvited.
yeah, you better watch out. We had a lot of assholes this episode, and I kind of went out of my way to find them because a lot of
Hmm.
people are like nice and they're like, "Oh, am I the asshole for like sticking up for myself?" But
Right.
these were like true assholes. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
these were good.
they were.
All right, well, should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. If you
Okay.
aren't subscribed to us, I'll be honest, I just subscribed to my personal account to our YouTube channel. I kept forgetting and like, but I'm there now. I'm subscribed personally.
Thank God, finally. Yes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch our episodes on there. We need to get a certain amount of watch hours. We're almost at our 500 subscriber mark. These are all like all checkpoints we need so that way we can get ads on our YouTube videos so we can start monetizing the podcast, which is very exciting. And follow us on Instagram because we're always posting fun stuff on there. Hey,
well, TTYL.
yeah, see you guys next Friday. Thanks for listening.